What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another podcast. Me and Trav are in today. What's going on, Trav?
What is happening? Just living my best life over here, waiting on May 5th to get out in the woods and turkey hunt a little bit. So
It's this episode we're going to talk a lot on turkeys. Since we just kicked off in Michigan here, finally, I felt like we were way behind on it. I mean, we had 2 weeks of just warm weather. I felt like we were just, I don't know, way behind on our season starting up.
yeah. And then it seemed like it got cold when turkey season got here.
Exactly. It's been a good but weird season for me, even scouting and everything else like that, which we're going to talk about. You know, scouting, hide, decoys, if you use them, if you don't, a little bit of everything. But Trav, what have on, I guess, a little bit of the western side of Michigan, what have you been seeing over there for turkeys this season so far?
Yeah, so for me, I bought I believe it's the ZZ tag, which is private land in the northern area. So I'm still waiting on to hunt my turkeys, but
ZZ's down here.
What's that?
ZZ's down here.
What's the statewide one?
That I don't know, to be honest.
Whatever the statewide tag is for the northern area.
So people don't get confused, that's all.
Yeah. So I'm still waiting on my tag, but I was able to go out with a few buddies opening weekend. I mean, turkeys are around. I mean, I'm down in the Kalamazoo County area, so a lot of turkeys just weren't able to be in the right spot. Scratch that. We were in the right spot, just wasn't able to close the deal one of the days. So
sorry, Ben.
Yeah. Sorry, Ben. No, not gonna say any names. Sorry, Ben.
Yeah. We're not gonna tell you what happened, but yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those things. You know, Sullivan killed his first bird, so it's a little bit of nerves and a tough shot. So I mean, no excuses, but there'll be more opportunities for him. So
well, if you don't get nervous on a bird coming in, I think you're doing it for the wrong reasons, and probably shouldn't be doing it at all.
Yeah. I definitely say he's doing it for the right reasons. He has a passion for it. It just hasn't worked out for him yet. So
has he patterned that gun at all?
Be honest with you, I'm not sure.
I mean, that might be a good thing to maybe do for him.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely something as a turkey hunter you should do. I know a lot of people after you shoot you think it's going to be this way, but there might be something janky with your gun where it's not shooting right. So it's definitely a good thing to do. Just I don't think he did it. So
that's one thing that is it's always surprising to me, like how much of a shell or choke tube, like how much of a pattern, like just direct your shot in such a different direction. It's insane to me. It's crazy how big of a impact it could make in a hunt with not patterning.
Like for you, what did you see from shooting your normal shells you shot for the last few years versus the Miger shells when you patterned it? It worked, but what did you see with the pattern?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. This year was the first year I patterned stuff. Yeah, that was the first year this is the first year I've patterned stuff. It's been, yeah, it's been good. It's been crazy.
Folks, you should pattern your gun, but we both of us have never patterned a gun before.
It's been good. It's been good. It's worked for me though,
Yeah, it's worked. It's worked the last few years for you. So I mean, keep doing what you're doing.
So this year is the first year that I actually shot Miger's new turkey load. It's so like the TSS and stuff. So I really wanted to pattern it, just to see how my gun was going to react with just that shot. The tungsten load. So it's just one of those things where I was very skeptical at first on how it would react, or if I need to get a new choke tube or whatever it may be, So it's but I feel like patterning a gun though, it just adds even just confidence for you.
Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll pattern it closer and then they'll just work their way out with the pattern. I mean, as you know, with turkey loads, I mean, or any load with shotguns, they'll expand as you go farther, but it's just a good way it shows what your reach is,
Yeah.
So
That's we had a one of our buddies send me a they patterned their Migra the other day. I forgot to even send this to you. I'm trying to look it up right now. And it was pretty insane, the pellets in 40 yards in the circle that they had. It was 40 yards in the circle. It was 223. And then like the head and the spine area, there was just 12. But in that circle, that kill hole, there was 223 pellets in it.
Holy crap.
Which is like nuts to me.
How many pellets were in that decoy of yours?
I think there was like 493. We'll get into that. I don't want to. You got to let my dad listen to a little bit more of this podcast before we get into all that.
Sorry, Ray.
Yeah, that was a whole. This weekend has been absolutely crazy for me. I'll tell you that. It's been a headache, a big headache.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you've had more of the successes, and I've had more of the. I mean, we both had crazy weekends with me having those two coyotes come running on us, and with the new law, not being able to shoot them now, which is crazy.
Very tough.
What's that?
Very tough not to.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When you have two at 30 yards coming running at you,
right?
It's crazy not to be able to shoot those. In the years past, you can. And then we're driving the fields, and we saw a coyote run down the field. It's just like I've seen 3 coyotes in daylight, and that's the most I've seen.
Which I don't understand it still. I mean, that's a whole talk where we're gonna have the coyote guys in, and I want to kind of pick their brain about all that, because I don't know. I'm still kind of just in awe on why the state would close that, especially at that time. I mean, I get like the dens and stuff, but then you're cutting off, this part of the season, which is usually like the planting season, I guess, or getting close to planting season. And by the time season comes back in, crops are up and you can't hunt most of the fields out there because there's no, I mean, besides like wheat fields or hay fields, I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
So,
and when you think about it, this is a pivotal time for the coyote management too, right? You got does laying fawns, you got turkeys on nests, you got geese and ducks nesting. I mean,
right.
This is a huge time frame where we need to be controlling those animals, but I mean, there's got to be a rhyme or reason, right? There's got to be something, but maybe there isn't. But
I don't know. I don't know what they think. They probably don't think anything until something happens to their animal or whatever. It's, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure it will change. Just like everything, there's going to be an amendment to it or something like that. But yeah, it was a crazy weekend. I've never had turkey hunting before. Had coyotes come running in on me before, which was a nerve-wracking thing when you go, holy crap, there's a coyote right there at 10 yards.
Yeah, I can only imagine what you were thinking.
Yeah. But
is that the craziest thing that like came out on you turkey hunting?
Yes, I would say having a coyote come running in at me turkey hunting was probably the craziest. Outside of having a long beard come running across the field at me, that would be the craziest thing. But outside of that, that was the most like crap my pants moments, was a coyote at 10 yards staring at me. So thinking I was a hen. So
it's nuts. What are the birds doing out your way? I mean, are they like, for me right now, I see a lot of lone hens, a lot of lone toms for whatever reason. Not a lot of them are grouped up still. I mean, there's some small groups, but not, crazy amount of groups. Earlier in the year, like March time, where they're all grouped up.
Yeah. I mean, outside of Monday, I haven't seen a turkey hunting. They all been out in the distance and kind of, they've wanted to be in the fields, and all we've had permission for was woods. So we've kind of ran into that snag. But Monday morning, it was 2 lone toms came in. I actually did see a hen that came in, which I think might have been our downfall, came in over our shoulder, which Ben didn't see.
Ooh.
Which I think kind of threw us through a loop there with the hen coming in, maybe saw us move a little bit or saw him move. And then the bird shorted us about 40 yards. So, and And then on show cam, I'm getting the same lone head now with the tom. I've seen the tom still, but just not with any hens. So I'm not sure if they're meeting up somewhere else or what. But it's just I've seen a lot more lone hens this year than I have had in previous times at this time of the year. So I'm not sure if it's the weather or what it is, but yeah, it's definitely been a different year than years past for sure for me. But this is also me hunting a different area that I've never hunted before, so it could just be the area.
I mean, I could kind of say the same too, and I know I've talked to a couple people about this season so far as well, like with bird activity wise, and everybody's kind of seeing the same thing, and it's all been kind of weird for everybody. It seems like I don't know. I don't remember in years past that many lone toms at 8:30 getting shot, and I'm not saying that can't be done or whatever, but the amount of lone toms I'm seeing driving around scouting is I usually don't see that.
Well, a funny story today, my buddy Seth, the property that we hunted Saturday and Sunday, his wife sent him a video of the tom we were after in his front yard, which is fenced in, at 10 o'clock in the morning this morning, and was stuck in that fence, couldn't figure out how to get out of that fence until almost 1 o'clock. He was just walking around, eating grass, doing whatever, walking around in his yard, and then finally walked out about 1 o'clock. It was in his yard for almost 3 hours.
That's when you got to send Ben over there. It's like shooting fish in a barrel.
Yeah. Well, I texted him like, "Why didn't you shoot the thing?" He goes, "Oh, my wife sent it to me. I was at work." I'm like, it was a pretty big tom. I don't know. I might have left work to come back and get that one, but that's definitely not the right way to kill a turkey. But I mean, it just depends on how desperate you are. But
that's what's I don't know. Yeah, for me, it's like a bird like that. Like a trophy of a bird like that. It'd be so much more meaningful though. Like gobbling in your face kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. I think me and you talked about it before and kind of see it differently, I think, if I remember correctly. Like, if a bird's not fired up, I think it was actually the bird that I missed last year we talked about it. Mm-hmm. If the bird's not fired up, I don't know how I don't know. Might let it walk.
Well, I mean, I guess there's a difference, too, between hunting the bird and then getting out of the vehicle and shooting it, Like, it's right. Be different, like what you did. You were out there all morning in it, or everything was it at night or in the morning?
I want to say it was the afternoon. Yeah.
So afternoon. Yeah. And it came in quiet on you. That's different from, say, oh, there's a turkey out in the field. Let me just run out there quick, and I know which way it's going to go. It's going to walk by you.
Right.
I think it's a little bit different, but I mean, it's just, I mean, to each their own. I'd rather have them come gobbling in and doing it that way versus some people might just want to fill their tag. In Michigan, you only get one turkey, so I want to take as much advantage and soak it all in as possible,
Right. And then, it goes back to how many times you're going to be able to get out and hunt that year and how many opportunities.
True. Yeah. If you're only going to be out there 1 or 2 times a year and that's your only time to kill a turkey,
right,
I would be doing the same thing. I would be doing it all costs, but
right.
I mean, seeing that my tag isn't even available yet. I mean, isn't valid yet. I still got some time. So,
Are you guys using decoys out there?
So we did Saturday, Sunday. Monday morning we went out when we had the birds come in and we forgot the decoys. So that might have also been an issue as well. I usually like to run decoys. I usually run a Jake and a hen decoy. It seems to have worked out for me in the past, but a lot of people like to run a lot more depending on the time of year.
Depending on if they're waterfowl hunters or not.
Yeah. I mean, I can't remember who we had last year on the podcast or earlier this year. They said they run like 6 decoys depending on the time of year. I'm like, holy crap. Yeah. I'm not lugging 6 decoys out for turkey hunting. I promise you that. Yeah. I don't care.
Absolutely not. We run 3 mainly, or I should say, depending on how many times or like the pressure of a field, because it always seems like everybody's got the 2, a Jake and a hen or a Tom and a hen or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So since we can't use motion in Michigan, like no strings or no nothing to our decoys, I have an upright hen and sometimes I'll put it underneath a Jake and have the feeding hen off, or I'll have the two hens and a Jake, or there's different things that I could do with it all. But it depends on, like, maybe we shot a bird over there before. I don't want to show them the same thing that they've already seen. Just switching it up and showing them different things.
Yeah. Which, I mean, growing up when I was in high school and elementary school and stuff, I mean, all my dad and I would use is one foam hen decoy. That's all we'd use. So I mean, you don't need the top of the line stuff, even though it helps a lot. But when they get in close enough like that, that should be a Ted turkey, anyways. So
right, should be.
Should be, yes, should be. But I mean, we all miss turkeys. I've missed a couple turkeys before, so it definitely happens. Adrenaline rushing with a big old long beard coming in on you, it'll make a grown man squirm a little bit. So
I'll tell you what, the one that we got Monday, I was shaking more on that one, and I wasn't even pulling the trigger than I was on my own bird opening morning. It was, I don't know what it was. Well, I know what it was. It was just in the timber. But yeah, what you just said, like if you're, you will shake like crazy out there.
Yeah. Well, and with the timber too, I mean, that you get the echoes.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds a lot closer than it actually is. And then when it gets super close, like the one that you got on Monday, it'll rattle your bones.
Oh, it was insane. It was insane. How often were you guys scouting these birds this weekend? You guys just going in blind, or you guys roosting them at night, or what's going on with all that?
So for me, I will roost them the night before, seeing that I wasn't the one on the gun. I went in blind. I didn't know much about it, but when I'm in the gun, I'm going to be roosting the night before, and then the roosting it the couple days leading up to it. I know the guy that we hunted with, he has trail cameras out there, so we kind of knew the general vicinity. We were pretty much going in blind outside the fact of hearing a gobble off the limb that morning. Like I said, I like to roost them at least 2 days in advance, just in case they're moving roosts each night. Depends on where they're at, if they get pushed or something like that. But
that's I kind of messed up a little bit on Monday with that, and we'll get into my whole scenario soon. But like that roosting thing, I mean, I used to do it a little bit, not as much as I have this year, and here I am saying that 4 days into the season. But the owl call at night, like for me, is like it's been a game changer on setting up and understanding where to go. It's just, it makes it that much easier in the morning, I feel like.
Oh yeah, and then you're not. I mean, because if you roost that bird that night, I mean, there's no guarantees that bird's gonna gobble in the morning, which you found out this morning, right? When you were out hunting. So it's just always good to be more prepared than you should be, because they're animals. They're as easy as sometimes it seems it's gonna be. They like to throw a wrench into it, walk a different path, do this, do that. So having at least a couple days advanced scouting on it, if not more, always helps. So
yeah, that's like for us in the for roosting, Monday we ended up walking right underneath these birds just because we had no idea, and like I said, it's just that much easier. The route to go in, I don't know. The plan, I wish I would have taken more of an advantage on roosting and understood how much more, how much it could help, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I feel like a rookie today. I feel like I haven't done a podcast in a year. So I'm a little shy.
Dude, you're the podcast guy. You're not supposed to get rusty.
I know. I feel like I haven't done one in a long time, though. I don't know why. Well, I know why, because I haven't done one, but I mean, I've been so busy with just chasing these turkeys around. It's been crazy. And that's even tomorrow morning. I don't know if we're going to hunt, but I'm probably going to even go scout just because I think Thursday is supposed to be a pretty calm morning. Tomorrow morning is supposed to be pretty windy. Even on like those off days, like you're saying, like scouting the birds, seeing what they're doing, trying to find a game plan. Like maybe you'll have a better idea what they are doing during like windy mornings, or figuring out where they're at. It's just there's so many different variables that you could really look into, or jot down to make you more successful later on in the season? You know, where are these birds going when it rains? Where are they going when it's windy? Where are they going when it's calm outside?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it all changes with hens or whatever, but you get a better understanding of what birds you're hunting.
Yeah. And I mean, and two, some people are like, I don't have time. I mean, that could just be you drive by where you think about hunting at midday and seeing where those birds are at, you know, or driving on the way to work in the morning or on the way back from work at night, you know, just little things like that. Just kind of get general ideas, even if you can't spend the time to go out and roost them.
Right.
You know, those little things are going to help you when it comes down to like, man, these birds have been stumping me all week. What am I supposed to do?
Right.
You know, you have some type of idea.
And that's one thing too, even this year in the morning, in the mornings, I have been doing this year quite a bit and not calling, like maybe once or twice, like right before they fly down, but that's like it. Like I am not calling, I'm not having them pinpoint exactly where I'm at, especially if I'm in close, and having them scan that area and waiting for that hen to fly down, and no hen ever flies down. But I am so like anal about all of that kind of stuff, even waterfowl, like, you know. And that seems like it's been working a lot for me as well this year.
Yeah, and I actually kind of did a little bit this too. I love to call. That's my like calling and having a turkey answer back to you is probably one of the coolest feelings. Same with waterfowl hunting, you know.
Oh, for sure.
It hurts not like waiting, you know, like waiting until you hear those turkeys with the change in their pitch, where it's like, oh, these turkeys are about to get down. Let me call a couple times, let them know where I'm at, and then wait till they hit the ground, and then start calling a little bit then. But you know, too much calling is just going to hurt you in the long run, even though you really want to do it. You know,
calling stuff though too, because not all calling is from your actual call.
Yeah.
Like, for example, like Monday, which I don't know if I broke down the story for you or not, but it was pretty crazy. But the bird got hung up at like 80-ish yards, it sounded like, anyway. And I turned over to Brandon because he, you know, in the woods, like we said, like it sounded like he was right there still. And I turned it over to Brandon and asked him if there was like leaves on the ground, and just told him to scratch like at the leaves. And as soon as Brandon started doing that, the bird kept on like moving forward and like getting closer and closer. Like it doesn't, like even that kind of stuff, just acting like a turkey, I found successful as well.
And was it you? It might have been you or someone else. They said like they would bring I don't think it was you that did it, but maybe you told me the story about someone bringing a fan out and like
a wing,
yeah.
I'll
and
use
like
my hat
rustling
too.
it in the leaves and stuff like that.
Well, I'll use my hat, and then I'll like pat it on my leg like a bird flying down, like its wings hitting its body almost.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on, obviously, you know, blind or no blind or where the birds are. Like obviously you don't want them birds seeing movement like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, acting like a hen flying down, just for a confidence boost. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Little things like that definitely is going to help, because I mean, if you're, I mean, turkeys are going to make a whole bunch of noise walk through the woods. So if you're just a lone hen making no noise outside of the calling, there might be a little suspicious, you know. Not all the time, but you get those old weary toms.
Right.
It takes a little more coaxing to get them in.
I mean, that's how I felt. You know, I'm not saying that's the entire reason, but the two biggest reasons why we killed that bird was one, the bird we killed Monday, one, that scratching I feel like helped out a lot, and two, making him like curious enough to keep coming, because I would stop, he would gobble like 3 or 4 times, I'd call like just a little bit, and he would keep coming. Like it was you know, not over calling and the scratching, I think that really did it. Kept his curiosity up.
Yeah. And are you, when you're calling, are you changing your direction when you call, like acting like you're moving in certain ways, or like are you saying the same way to looking at that tom calling.
I'm changing it up. I'm changing it up with even like the pitch too. Like I'm always changing up directions, the pitch. When that bird got closer, I went like real soft. Like I didn't want to blow his eardrums out, obviously. Even though he's blowing our eardrums out. Like went real soft. Obviously, like if you're not hearing any gobbles or anything, get loud and try to reach out and let those birds hear you. But yeah, direction, and that goes with diaphragm calls or slate calls or glass calls, whatever you're using. Like just turning them a little bit can cast that sound in multiple directions.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I try. I always try to do something a little bit different almost every time I call, just to be a little bit different, because you don't want to be the same exact every single time. It works. It'll work a lot of times, but like you said, you get to old Tom, just doing something a little bit different is going to help more than it's going to hurt you. So.
And I'm no great caller or anything by any means, but all I really do is just a couple of yelps and putting, it's enough that it's been good for me so far.
Yeah. I'm definitely just the most simplest calling, but doing all that different stuff, definitely helps out a lot. But you don't got to be a world class caller to get a turkey in. Doing all those certain different calls and stuff.
Yeah, I will say I do slack on practicing my calls. That's for sure. I feel like if I practice more, I could be a lot better. Because I do know what it takes to be a good caller with just the waterfowl aspect of it all. Not saying I'm good at that either, but it does take a lot of practice, and I don't do it enough.
I would definitely be lying if I said I practiced and I maybe definitely pulled my calls out 2 days before turkey season this year. But
well, you use a lot of the box call too, don't you?
Yeah, I use a lot of box call, but when those turkeys get in close, it's very hard to use the box call and also not move at all. So I do a lot of diaphragm as well, just like a little peck here and there, just to keep them interested.
Well, now, in your opinion, though, like with the change of calls, do you think that matters to that bird? Because every call is, it's got a different tone to it. Because like you can go through 3 or 4 slate calls or like, glass calls, whatever it is, and it just takes that one certain call and it'll spike that bird up.
Yeah, I can definitely tell you for a fact I've definitely used a box call all morning and not got a response, then switched over to the slate call and they fired up right away. So I would definitely say if they're not talking, try a different call. With regards to using the diaphragm call, I haven't had I've definitely had the bad one, but this weekend, it's hard to tell just with not having anything close enough to, judge it by.
It's I don't know. I don't know. I always just think, like I said before, just too deep into that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, why don't you get into a little bit about your weekend? You were the big successful man on the weekend. I think, what'd you get? 3 birds down this weekend?
3 with Monday, yeah.
3 with Monday. So yeah, you had a great weekend.
Yeah, it was a very solid weekend. It started off very rough. Very rough. It's gonna sound super weird, but we ended up getting kicked off of a field for doing the right thing, which I feel like everybody's going to say that and assume that I didn't do the right thing, but I definitely was doing the right thing. It was just a headache that was being caused, and the farmer didn't want to deal with it anymore. So understanding that situation for him, I just didn't even want to deal with it anymore. So we had to go to plan B for opening day, which I scouted. I knew there was birds on it. I didn't know, like, we've had this property for, I don't know, 6 years or so now, and I don't think we've ever shot a bird off of it. I've always wanted to, just never have had luck with it.
Mm-hmm.
And we get there in the morning, and all the birds are roosted across the road behind us. Like, we don't have a lot of woods. I mean, we do, I don't know. We do have like little sections of big woods, but most of it's just tree lines and little patches and stuff. So these birds roosted across the road, and in between them is two fields, the road obviously, and then a little section of woods. So it wasn't looking good for us in the morning. I had the other group of guys out there. The birds were hammering for them, and I thought for sure that they were going to get on one. And
well, not to cut you off, I think
Yeah.
we talked about, what was it, 7:30. We shot each other texts, and you said you'd heard like 4 gobbles all morning at that time, or it was something. Maybe it was a little bit earlier than that.
Yeah.
You were saying you were struggling a little bit.
Yeah, we were struggling, especially, and I forgot to even mention, like with the situation opening morning, not to even backtrack a little bit, but with Eric coming up from Firebolt,
Yeah.
I told him to call me. So he drove up to call for Brandon and his buddy Kenny. So I told him to call me at 4 when he got to Brandon's house, and he calls me. I say, hey, I'm up. Just I'll call you back here in a few. He says some kind words, and he texts me that his tire fell off at 4 o'clock in the morning on opening day. And I'm like, what am I doing? What is going on? Like, what do we do now? Because I didn't know what he meant by that. I don't know. You know, those Ohio people, who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know where he was at. I don't know if he like needs help, or I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, and at this point in time, you're thinking, what else could go wrong?
Yeah, I mean, one, we get kicked out of option A for us. I got guys sitting on a field that I wish I was on now, and yeah, a guy's tire falls off of his truck at 4 in the morning on opening morning.
Yeah.
So I finally call him, and luckily, thank God, that he was only 100 yards away from Brandon's house when this happened. You know, that whole 2-hour drive, 2.5-hour drive, it happened 100 yards away, that the lug bolts, I want to say it was, I don't know, the lug bolts snapped. 3 out of the 6 lug bolts snapped. The tire went flying into the neighbor's yard. Brandon and Kenny got the truck wheeled back into Brandon's driveway, luckily. So we ended up getting out there on time still. And yeah, so that morning we only heard a few gobbles across the road, and it wasn't looking too good. And next thing you know, we hear gobbles on our side of the road. So I was like, okay, this might get pretty good. And I hear some clucking, some putting behind us. And my dad's sitting there, and next thing you know, I see something move to his right. And I look over. I thought it was a squirrel at first. A hen pops out like 5 foot from him. I'm like, do not move a muscle. Hen walks out, doesn't see us, walks out in the middle of the field. No big deal. But I thought I heard something walking behind her. So about a minute or two goes by. Tom pops out about 60 yards out in the field, 60, 70 yards out in the field, and hit the call twice. And bird comes running in. Dad doesn't have his gun shouldered yet. Told him to wait till bird turns around on the decoy, because we had the Jake and the 2 hens out there. And bird turns, shoulders his gun, and as soon as he shoulders his gun, he shoots. Just rushed a shot. I don't know. I think the head, placement was it moved a little bit from where he was aiming. Just regardless, he rushed a shot. And the bird, or the shot, ricocheted off the decoy and into the bird. Dad shot again, missed. Shot again, missed. I handed him my gun, and he finally got it. So we're like, what the heck is like going on right now? Like, we're all pumped up, and like, how did you just do that? And as soon as he steps on his bird, he gets his bird, like, we're, going crazy about it. I strike up the call again and get another gobbler, like right on the other side of the woods, to hammer down again. So we run back and to where we're sitting at, and sit down. 5 minutes come by, and here comes my bird through the woods, and he sees the decoy knocked over. which my dad asked me if we should pull that decoy up. And I was like, yeah, don't worry about it. Like, it'll be fine. Once he sees that decoy, he won't even think nothing about it.
Mm-hmm.
Sure enough, he thought something about it. And furthest bird I've ever shot, 40 yards, and just completely stones him. And I get up to go get him 3 more times right in the back of the field. I'm like, holy crap, like this place is insane right now. I can't believe like what just happened. I've never doubled up with like a 5-minute gap. You know, my dad just reenacted a Civil War movie with all the shots that he just took, and these birds are still like coming to this field. Like, it's insane. Those guys that I set up I think they seen a couple hens, nothing crazy. The birds shut up as soon as they hit the ground. We went out scouting Saturday night, roosted some birds up, got on some birds for Sunday. We had one tom come in, about 60 yards. I don't know if he got beat up the day before, jumped somewhere. I don't know. He seen a decoy and walked off. We were actually sitting in our new blind. So maybe it was the blind. I just put it up that morning. Who knows? Because I want to bring that up to you too, Trav. I don't know if I really, like, we talked about it before, like, or if we talked after that hunt.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we did, because we had Connor on. He was talking about, like, he's had no problems with birds dealing with the blind brand new. You've never done that?
To be honest with you, I've hunted out a blind maybe twice in my life.
The only reason why we did it with this property is the backyard. It's a backyard, but it's like a 10-acre lot, and we knew where the bird was, and he was right in the swamp. It's like a big swampy area, and it's just like CRP brush, like little bush, like nothing that you can tuck up next to and hide on. So I, just threw the blind out there and said whatever. And like I said, the bird just walked away. I don't know. It was very weird. So Sunday we had no luck because I set those guys on that same spot. And they had 2 toms out in the field. It was with and they ended up walking off. Monday morning comes around. We get out there a little late, and we decide the birds that I had roosted for Monday morning, they were roosted on the field edge, which we had to walk all the way across the field, so I didn't want to do that. Again, option B we went to and set those guys up on the tree line. I go set the decoys out. I get back, and at this point we use a I don't know, like a 1 or 2 foot tall little like paneling in front of us, just to kind of brush us in a little bit more to hide, if anybody's moving a little bit or whatever it may be. I don't know. I like it. It seems to work, especially taking new people out too. It's nice to have. But I get back, I sit down, I look up in the trees, and there's birds everywhere. And I'm like, oh crap, there's no way that those birds did not just see me do that.
Yeah.
So the birds start gobbling, they're hammering, and I was actually kind of surprised at even that. We had birds behind us hammering, we had birds in front of us hammering, and they pitch down, and they walk in the field, and they're just kind of walking around. The tom's following the hen. He's fighting off other toms or jakes or whatever he was fighting off. And that gobbling from behind us, kind of goes away. And then as the morning goes on, I hear some crunching behind, like right over my right shoulder. I turn around, and there's 2 toms and 3 hens like 5 foot from us, like staring like right at me. And I'm like, oh crap. I had no idea, not a peep from them, no nothing. So
you're thinking you're toast.
Oh, 100%. And we kind of were. They knew something was wrong, but they didn't know like what was wrong. And I didn't really think about it too much because I was rushing in the morning, that we were sitting right on a deer run in the woods that we were hunting. It was a real thick, viney, dense woods. So yeah, obviously those turkeys, if they're going to be using the woods, they're going to probably be walking, the easiest route to get into fields or whatever it is. So yeah, if I would have thought about it more, yeah, I could imagine that they would have used that path. and to sit off of it. So they ended up walking off, and I hear a bird even further than those birds were behind us as we're still watching that tom in front of us. And next thing you know, that bird gets a little bit closer behind us, a little bit closer. And I'm like, oh, man, he sounds like he's actually coming. Like, I'm actually surprised. And gets a little bit closer, and finally I was like, hey, you got to turn around because he's going to be here. I have a feeling, well, Brandon actually said it. You got to turn, like he's going to walk right down that same path. So Sid turns around, and sure enough, that bird gets in the woods. Like I said, it's hung up about 80 yards. I start scratching the leaves. He starts coming even closer. She gets on him, and I was nervous, man, because it's like in the woods like that, it's a different ball game. You know, you got the trees, you got everything that you have to deal with. And I got it on video. I'm resting it up on the chair so it's steady, and because I'm shaking like a leaf because this bird's like just hammering like right behind us. And I tell her to take it whenever she gets a shot. Like, don't rush it. Like, it's still coming, but whenever you get a shot, take it. Like, it's in range. As soon as I say that, I feel like it was like within seconds. Boom, she shoots. Me and Brandon are like get scared shitless because we were not expecting that right away. And I look up and I'm like,
take the shot. You said take the shot.
Yeah, I know, but I was like, well, I don't know. It was crazy because me and Brandon talked about it after. And I turn around, I'm like looking for flopping or like flying away or just something, you know. And there's like nothing. Like everything just went like quiet again. I'm like, okay, what just happened? And we walk over, I walk over like to where the bird was standing at, and there it was, stone dead, didn't even flop one time, just laying right there. And it was a really good bird. I think it was 10 1/4 with 1-inch spurs.
Okay. Yeah, I never asked about beard sizes and stuff for any of your birds that were killed. What was your and your dad's?
I think my dad's was right at 10-inch beard, or maybe it was right at 10 or just below, like right under 10. I can't remember. And then he had like 3/4-inch spurs, just getting to like a point almost. And mine was 11-inch with inch spurs. So all three really good birds. So I mean, right now we just need more like better weather for us. I mean, it's just been so windy for us lately, and it's just been tucking these birds in the bottoms, and it's just hard to get to them. That's been the hardest part lately for us. And a quick word from our sponsors from Trav.
We want to give a shout out to Miger Ammunitions, the originator of the patent stack load. They make custom waterfowl ammunition and new this year turkey loads. If you want to find out more information on them, you can check them out on Instagram, Facebook, or go to their website at migerammunitions.com. Tag Miger Ammo to show your success stories. We also want to thank GK Calls. GK Calls are the innovators of waterfowling gear since 1999, family owned and operated. You can check them out on Instagram, or also go to their website at www.gkcalls.com.
And our last sponsor of this episode, we want to go to Dakota from Gator Decoys. Thank you, guys.
So I'm going back to you and your dad's hunt.
Uh-huh.
That was an expensive hunt, if you think about it.
Yeah, I know. That's the first thing I said to him. Oh, and mind you, I videoed him. The first thing I asked him is, hey, did you get that on video? He goes, nope. I'm like, dude, you have two phones in your hand. What is going on? Oh, you did not video that? And he's like, no. I was like, oh, my God.
Well, it's funny because when you sent me the video, like, this is what the video was. No, because that was funny because I when you called me.
The first thing you asked was, did you get it on video?
Yes. And you're like, wait a second. You said, I can't remember what you said to me. I'm like, dude.
Explain.
Like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. It's like we had this conversation.
Yeah. That's what my dad, I know my dad felt so bad about it too, because he kept on saying sorry, and then he took some videos of me walking up to the bird and stuff, and I don't know, it was just such a hectic moment, because like I said, for doubling like we did, I don't know, it was kind of bizarre, like that those birds would still come in after hearing a shot.
Oh yeah, and by no means are we professionals. So I mean, this stuff happens. I mean, we're not going to be less happy or less thrilled that we've got 2 birds down. But and the other side of things, like, man, wish I had that video. But
yeah,
it don't matter. It don't matter.
I don't know. I wish. I don't know. I get so worked up too when them birds are working in where, like, whether I jump or whatever it may be, and it's so tough to like stay on it. Even if like you have a regular camera, I feel like just the shot alone, if you got a tripod or whatever it is, like you're going to like shake that camera a little bit. And I wish I would have had like all 4 shots that my dad took. Because I
wish you would have, because we could have done a post-hunt recap with Ray.
That would have been hilarious.
And asked him what happened.
But then who knows? You might not have got that bird because I had to hand him my gun. So who knows?
Yeah.
So, but like I said, and we've had 2 posts now. I know that you haven't been able to shoot a bird with it, but that stuff, man, like it has been a game changer at shooting at those birds.
I know I'm itching. I mean, I got this at the big town behind my house that for every single day.
Should have been after already.
Up until opening day, he was at a certain time frame walking on my property. He finally just showed back up 2 days ago. But he's a big bird. I could say I'm kicking myself a little bit for not doing the tag down here, but I mean, it'll make that kill even sweeter if I happen to harvest them when it comes May.
Oh, for sure. I mean, especially too, it's like, so my dad, I was out scouting yesterday, and it's like, he's like, you're out scouting? It's like, what? Why are you out scouting? It's like, dude, you're crazy if you think that I'm just going to stay out of the woods. Like for you, you get to have all of May, and go hunt with Ben and all those guys over there. So it's nice to like stay in it, but tagging out opening morning, thankfully, because last year it was like the second to last day. I would pick turkey hunting over waterfowl hunting. I really think so. I don't know. It's something about turkey hunting that I just really enjoy doing. And if you think I'm going to be out of the woods this time of year, you're crazy.
Yeah, and that's the one thing is, like, you even asked me, it's like, why aren't you getting your tag down here? And I'm like, it doesn't put the pressure on me just yet to harvest a bird, and I just enjoy being out in the freaking woods. Like so Friday night, 3 hours of sleep, was up at 4 a.m. ready to rock and roll. Just 'cause I couldn't, even though I wasn't hunting, I wasn't on the gun, I couldn't sleep. I was too excited.
Yeah.
I rolled in bed all night. I'm like, I'm so excited for the morning. I can't wait. And then Saturday night, same thing. Didn't go home till 1 o'clock. Was up at 4 a.m. And Ben texted me Sunday night and goes, "Hey, I think I'm gonna go try it in the morning. You want to go?" And I'm like, "Oh crap, I got to work at 9." It's like, screw it. I'll go with you. I'll go with you for a couple hours in the morning. It's just like, it's something about it. Like you said, it tops everything because it's just, I don't know. There's something about them.
Cat and mouse game. I mean, just trying to trick a bird that with a pea-sized brain that outsmarts you 90% of the time.
Yeah. You say that pea-sized brain, but it's proportion, right, for the body. Thing's probably got a super brain in there for the size of the bird it is.
It's just, I don't know. It's crazy. The feeling of just turkey hunting alone, I feel like it's something that I absolutely love doing. And that's what we've been doing too. Like Brandon, he's got to go to work at 8:30ish. We've been getting out of the woods the last 2 mornings. We've been getting out of the woods 8 o'clock. Sid shot her bird right at 8, so it worked out perfect for Brandon, because I told Brandon, I was like, man, this is gonna suck if you got to leave while these birds are fired up, because it's really gonna screw up a lot of things right now.
Mm-hmm.
And today it was a rough morning, but it was hunting. That's
So I know you talked about Brandon, but how many? I mean, you're tagged out. Your dad's tagged out. Sid's tagged out. How many other people you got coming out?
I got my sister going out Saturday. I'd like to get Brandon a bird. He's never shot one before. So yeah, I'd like to, and that's what was kind of tough thing for Monday about that one bird. I asked those guys, I was like, hey, if this bird comes in, like, who's shooting it? Because Sid shot a couple of them before. And then Brandon told her, it's going to be easier if you turn around and shoot at it. And like, it's going to be tough, very tough for me to shoot. So you just turn around and shoot it. So it was cool that he said that, but still wish that he was on that bird.
But that was Sid's first long beard, right? She had shot 2 jakes prior, correct?
She shot would have been 4 years ago now. She missed that one opening morning, and then I shot mine that opening morning. There was 3 toms that came in. She missed hers. I shot mine. We went out the next day. She shot a tom.
Oh, okay.
And then the 2 jakes, and then that tom. Yesterday, Monday. So again, like, yeah, it would have been cool for Brandon to shoot, which, like I said, I wish he would have, but all in all, birds down. We've been trying to get Brandon on one, but we got him, my sister. I'm going to get Fonzie a bird. I think he's coming in this weekend, so we might try to get him on one. Probably Goodman's going to want to try to get one.
Freaking Goodman, man. Working opening weekend. That's just, I can't believe.
I know. It's like someone that has a bird behind its house and his house and don't go after it. It's crazy. I don't know who
I don't know who's doing that, but whoever it is crazy.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. I'm glad you said it and I didn't have to. It all depends. Like I'll take anybody out as long as the birds are there. I don't want to like every year I try to like make it to where we're not just obviously killing every single bird on one property.
100%. Yeah.
So we're balancing properties, and I'll cut off the property if we kill, say over 2 if the population is good over there. There's got to be a cutoff spot because there's been people that I know. There was 4 toms on their property, and they ended up shooting all 4 of them, and they haven't had turkeys on their property since. So it's just one of those things where you got to be smart with the numbers that you're pulling off. So like I said, if I got the bird, I mean, I have the birds. It's just how much are these people wanting to hunt? Because it's not like I'm promising a turkey every single hunt. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I mean, normally it doesn't work out where you're killing 3 birds opening weekend, out of a group of people.
Right.
You may kill 1 if you're lucky, and then it just is the rest of the season to work at it. But you got to really get opening weekend, and it's gonna be tough to top that weekend.
Yeah, it definitely is, especially doubling up with just my dad alone is gonna be. It's the second time we did that now.
Yeah.
And that just alone is a pretty crazy feeling because I had to fight him about who's shooting the first bird if one comes in. And because he told me, and I told him, and finally I convinced him, since he didn't shoot one last year, that he was shooting it. So that was, like, I was happy as can be just after he shot. I was not expecting that other bird to come in. But I think there's, I don't know, 5 or 6 more times at that one piece right there.
Yeah.
So
I think that's with me this year. If I go up north with my dad, I'm gonna have to make him be the first to shoot because he hasn't killed a bird in probably 10 years. He's always just, last year we had the opportunity to double up and he missed, but
yeah, Ben Senior over there.
What's that?
Yeah, Ben Senior over there.
Hey, but the thing is though, he ended up walking out, checking to see if there was any feathers or anything like that. He found a shed. So, somehow he turns a negative thing into a positive thing somehow. So I don't know how he does it. But
sheds alone for him though, it's like whatever. I mean, he finds so many of them up there.
Yeah, I mean nothing with really any size, but it's just crazy. He'll find the spike horns, the little 4-point sides. Like I think he's found like 12 or 14 sheds this year. Nothing bigger than a 6. I mean, he found 1 4-sider, but
still
but
crazy,
he
though.
spends his times in the woods, so
yeah, covered in ticks.
Into it.
Covered in ticks and all that. That's one thing I've honestly been surprised with that I haven't had one tick on me of turkey season, but if I go out doing whatever else, I'll randomly find a tick on me.
I mean, I think it's the cold. I mean, it's been, I don't know what it was like for you over there, but on the west side here, it was, in the mornings, it was freezing out.
I
It was below 32.
Oh, see, we haven't got that cold even.
Yeah. Like I had Saturday morning, I don't know if it was just like the participation in the air or what, but it was snowing.
I want to say it was
Like-
36 and sunny for us, but windy, very windy on opening morning.
Yeah, both mornings were in the 30s for us here. So, I mean, that definitely helps with keeping the ticks at bay. But I can tell it's Brody's, I'm pulling at least 2 or 3 off him every day. Ticks that are just crawling on them. I finally pulled my first big tick. All of them been little, but I finally ended up pulling a big one off him the other day, right, Brody?
Yeah, it's I don't know. I'm glad I haven't found more, but I was totally expecting that there was going to be a lot more out there this year, just off of what I've seen so far. I mean, same thing with Rip. We pulled 3 off of him, and then I had 2 or 3 on already this year. So
Are you spraying that? Are you putting spray on you before you go out in the mornings, or are you just rocking it?
I have it in my bag. I don't spray it though. I haven't sprayed it.
It does good in your bag for sure. Yeah, without spraying it for sure.
Actually, I have 2 bottles of it too. I haven't sprayed it once.
It was a lot of good.
I haven't sprayed it once. And you know what's going to happen is I'm going to find one on me that's embedded, and I'm going to be pissed off and yelling or whatever it may be. And it's, nobody to blame but myself.
No one to blame but yourself.
But I don't know. Well, I don't know. We'll plan on a couple of these, like little updates throughout the turkey season. It's not a crazy long season. We, end of May, and some people into June. Maybe every other week or so, maybe we'll jump on here and do a little update on our turkey season. Yeah,
we'll definitely have to do more of these because, I mean, like you said, I haven't been on the gun yet. So as the season goes on, we'll have more action and maybe connect for a hunt one of these days. So
yeah, for sure. And it's because the birds are going to change, the weather's obviously going to change, and there's so much more to even talk about with all that kind of stuff. So keep everybody in tuned and maybe help a person out or two.
Yeah, for sure.
So, well, I appreciate you jumping on, Trav, and waiting for me, since you waited for probably an hour for me. But I appreciate everybody tuning in. Trav, you got anything else to say?
No, just thanks again to our sponsors, Firebolt Game Calls, Migra, SX, Flipping Bird, all those guys. It's definitely shown the difference this year with us. So I appreciate you guys.
That's for sure. Guess last thing I got to say is shoot straight, Ben. And for everybody else, I appreciate you tuning in this week. And until next time, we'll see you.